back to Withum's video series, The Alternative Route. Today we're picking up with Yelena Dunaevsky from Woodruff Sawyer, as well as Pete Lubcker, a partner here at Withum. Pete and Yelena, thank you both for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So Pete, let's get started with the secondaries market. What is fueling the dramatic growth that we've seen in the secondaries market overall now?
Sure, Colleen. So the recent declines in the public equity pricing and bond pricing has caused a lot of investors' portfolios to be overweight as it's allocated to private equity. This is causing these same investors to have to shed some of their private equity holdings. So they're looking to the secondaries market to do that.
Interesting. And Yelena, how are the insurers thinking about covering these transactions, and what in general is the market appetite for them?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of enthusiasm on the insurance side of things to get the coverage in place for these secondaries transactions. And then really the coverage is very similar to the traditional reps and warranties coverage, which is something that private equity firms have been using for 90+% of their transactions. And so this kind of coverage for these secondaries essentially is a derivation from it. And Bain and Apollo were the first large funds that really dove into this market. But now we're seeing other smaller funds also using this type of coverage. And even the funds of funds are also using it. And really, it's something that takes the risk away from the buyer and seller in the transaction and puts it on the insurance carrier.
Pete, what do you think the motivation is for using the secondaries market now?
Sure, Colleen. So for LPs, it's simple. It's liquidity. They want to, in the private equity structure, obviously, usually it's a 10-year window. This gives them the ability to get out earlier than anticipated. It also provides the limited partners the ability to get into an investment at a favorable price. It allows them to diversify their portfolio. It also allows them to get access to companies that they may not be able to get access to in other channels.
So a lot of different ways to get
correct
access there. Yelena, where's the insurance market moving, and what do you think the general sentiment is from the market on how the secondaries market will continue to develop?
So, like I said, the market is really hopping right now. The carriers are eager to get into it. It used to be that CFC, who actually pioneered this kind of product, and CFC is a UK-based insurer. They were the ones who were doing majority of the underwriting and placement of these kinds of policies. They are still doing most of the primary placement of these policies, and then primary, I mean the first layer of coverage. But other carriers are now interested in getting into this market as well. It's somewhat also driven by the fact that the number of M&A transactions generally in the market has been fairly low. And all the carriers are looking for ways to bring in premium. And so additional carriers are moving into the market and offering access coverage, but also primary coverage. And again, this coverage is something where you have a potentially a breach in the seller's reps and warranties, and the financial outcome of that breach is something that you can insure and relieve the buyer from taking the entire consequence of that financial breach. So the market is enthusiastic, and it looks like it's going to continue to be so for the next foreseeable future, and also that the coverage is going to be moving towards the being more flexible and broader than it used to be.
Interesting. So it'll continue to evolve. Pete, we've been talking a lot about the new private funds rules. Is there any impact to the secondaries market from those new rules?
Sure, Colleen. The new fund rules are causing the GPs to get either fairness opinions or valuation opinions on GP-led secondary transactions. Generally, there has been the industry practice is to already get fairness opinions, so it doesn't have too much of an effect on maybe the U.S. based transactions. But Overseas, there isn't a lot of opinions involved, so this is going to be an affect more them than maybe U.S. transactions.
Okay. So from the US based side, a lot of them are already doing this. It's not necessarily an additional lift.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you both for joining us today and giving us your insights on the secondaries market. And stay tuned for the next episode of The Alternative Route.
Thank you.
Thank you.